Hello, classmates. Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Today is September 17 and it's Thursday. So, I'm going to report about the two feature story that I found in the online website from a newspaper magazine. So, I have here the first one is all about the OFWs. Going home amid pandemic is a very long journey, which I found from BBC News Online. That is an online portal from the BBC World. So it was published on September 13, 2020, around 8:30 in the morning by Del Nazario. So the main topic of this feature story about the OFW were the following: what OFWs face when they go home amid pandemic. The second one is being ready to wait in line, get a swab test, and wait again. The third one is getting free food, free lodging, free internet access. So, this kind of feature story was a narrative form because it narrates the author narrates how was the life of OFW when they get back home in the Philippines amid this trying times or this pandemic. So the first one was interviewed is Hannah. Hannah was a 28. Hannah Akaya was 28 years old and working abroad as a travel consultant for more than a year in Dubai. Being 7 months pregnant did not discourage her from a long journey, which would entail many hours of waiting. Since there were no commercial flights operating by then, she booked a seat in a chartered flight costing about 44,000 pesos, which was about a month's income for her. The emergency expenses depleted the savings which she and her husband had for her pregnancy. Her husband opted to stay behind in Dubai to earn for the family. Fortunately, Hannah said she received a 10,000 pesos cash assistance from the DOLE or the Department of Labor and Employment that she had applied for online in April. After getting her ticket, Hannah secured a medical clearance from her doctor and prepared the necessary documents for her departure. Because of her condition, Hannah was given priority at the airport and was made to queue. She noted that social distancing was observed at the Dubai International Airport, but in the plane there were no empty seats between passengers. Because of that, she said she ate even with her face shield on. So it actually narrates how the life of an OFW, especially the pregnant one, when getting home in the Philippines during pandemic. So it narrates how hard it was. So let's proceed. After the 9-hour flight, Hannah said that they had landed at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or the NAIA. Before the planning, the Department of Health or the DOH personnel boarded the plane to take each passenger's body temperature and collect the health declaration forms. Then they were escorted by Philippine Coast Guard personnel to a place where they had to attend or an orientation on the procedure that all passengers will go through at the airport and at the hotel where they will be quarantined for 14 days. So that is the protocol from TDOH. Someone that came from a place where coronavirus is abundantly present, so you need to be quarantined 14 days. After the orientation, she and other pregnant women were prioritized for swab tests. Meanwhile, personnel of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or the OWA distributed food packs. There was a waiting bus provided by the OWA, which brought them to their designated hotels. Hannah was assigned to a hotel in the Ortigas Commercial Center. There they were greeted by health personnel who gave them instruction before they were allowed to go to their rooms. Pregnant women had rooms for themselves, while others were assigned to a room. So the second topic that the writer was going to imply is all about the free food comfortable room. So accordingly to the writer or the author, Hannah said they were given free food daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that will be 3 times a day. Her air-conditioned room was very comfortable with its own bathroom, with toiletries, television set, internet connection, refrigerator, microwave, and a gallon of water. She also brought food from Dubai: bananas, apples, pork adobo prepared by her husband, packs of biscuits, loaf of bread, and different varieties of sandwich spread. With the free food provided by OWA and the food she took with her, Hannah said she did not spend a centavo when she arrived in the country until she was allowed to go home. On the third day of the quarantine, Hannah received the result of her swab test and she was allowed to go home. She said that it was relaxing at the hotel and she wished she could stay longer, but she wanted to be with her family and to her firstborn who was eagerly waiting for her. So the reference, I included the reference here. You can see here that I got here the link which I got my feature story from the BBC News World. So my second topic or the second feature story that I'm going to report is all about the profile Duterte, the controversial strongman of the Philippines. So this form of feature story is also a narration. Why? Because it tells the story of someone. It narrates the story of someone. So the writer wanted to tell story from people or from person that he wanted to feature. So in this topic, the main character or the topic is all about our president, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So accordingly to the writer, Rodrigo Duterte was elected president of the Philippines in 2016 by a landslide win on the back of hardline promises to tackle crime and corruption. By the way, the author wanted to tackle about the background of the president first, then after that, the political origins. How Digong or Rodrigo Roa Duterte won the election, and after that, how was he engaged in the political aspects. And the other one is all about his promises about the constitutional reforms. Alright, so let's go back. So again, Rodrigo Duterte was elected president of the Philippines in 2016 by a landslide win on the back of hardline promises to tackle crime and corruption. So the author wanted to narrate how Rodrigo Roa Duterte win the last 2016 national election. He has since attracted intense controversy for a bloody drug war and a string of controversial remarks deemed offensive or success by many observers. He has also been criticized by the international community and rights groups that say his policies amount to human rights abuses. Despite international condemnation, he remains hugely popular in the Philippines. So let's tackle about the political origin. So let's note that how the writer tried to depict story to someone in this particular topic. So we need to see what are the techniques that the writer uses when he wrote this feature story. All right, so let's proceed. The political origin: Rodrigo Digong Duterte was born in 1945. So the author is trying to dig up the background of the political career of Mr. Duterte. So